10% of all the new cars sold in Iowa come from the Karl Auto Group. Our neighbors trust us to have the largest selection and the highest standards. To our current customers, thank you. And to our future customers, see for yourself why Karl drives Iowa.
Your dealer for life, it's the Karl way. Keen Project Solutions, a modern engineering and construction firm, embracing technology, establishing industry-leading systems and processes, and delivering reliable results to our customers. At Keen, we are passionate about inspiring our team and our customers to achieve great things, offering the highest quality services and commercial construction to deliver turnkey projects. Our core beliefs drive us forward. Protect people, build relationships, drive innovation, and focus on end goals, bringing our customers' desired results to life. See how Keen can work for you at thinkthinkeen.com.
Experience the world's largest sports book at your fingertips.
I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor and owner of Circa Sports. We built this platform for bettors that want high limits and total transparency.
Featuring high limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional live customer service when you need it.
Hi, how may I help you today?
Download your new bookie today and start betting like a pro.
Circa Sports.
What's up? Welcome to Postgame, Karl Chevrolet Postgame show here in the Northwest Bank Studios. I'm reminded of, I'm a WWE fan, and when The Rock came back, we hadn't seen The Rock in like 5 or 6 years, and he came back to fight John Cena. It's one of those Legends matches, right? Like, and everybody, it was a really big deal. And they sold T-shirts, Rob Gray, that said "Boots to Asses," because that was The Rock's like new catchphrase, and that was a absolute boots to asses game in every way, shape, and form. Because you looked at that game going into it, I think anybody would be like, "Wow, 14 points is the line." Like, that's just a lot for a Big 12 road game in general, especially at a place that is like traditionally pretty tough to play, right? And I bet people thought this during the really bad, although it wouldn't really count because there weren't fans there. But when Iowa State was starting to really tank under Prohm, it was just, these teams are coming in as a 20-point favorite, and you're like, well, that doesn't seem right. And then they would generally cover it, and that's what today felt like. But what an impressive, just 40 minutes of intensity. And we saw it, and I'm sure Jake Bryn and Jackson Pence was sitting courtside. They're going to have some great insight on this, but Otzelberger never let up on those guys. He was coaching them as hard when they were up 30 in the second half as he was at the start of the game. And just a really, really impressive 95-61 road win. I don't think Kansas State's very good, obviously. You can't take – but I do know the human aspect of this is it's really hard to play that focus for that long with that much intensity when you're killing a team like that. And Iowa State never let up today, and that was really good to see.
Yeah, I was going to make the trip, and then I talked to you, and I've been doing a lot of stuff and had a little bit of family stuff. I'm like, you know what? Rather than a full day, full night, I'll just cover it from home via the radio. How about this? Biggest margin of victory in a conference road game in Iowa State history.
Wow.
Via John and Eric on the Cycling Radio Network on Learfield. TJ called that. TJ called that timeout. And I think Jackson reported to us in a text chain that he lit into him. He lit into him when Kansas State went on a 10-4 run out of halftime, and
got it within.
Boy, did
23.
that resonate! Yeah, boy, did that resonate. I mean, they cut it down close to maybe to 25 at some point, too. Haggerty had almost 20 in the second half, but that is a beaten team. That is a team that you wondered what they were going to be like after they blew that game at West Virginia on the road. Boy, they just didn't have it. When Iowa State put that early run on them after they were up 4-2, it was just good night. Sleeper hold. You want to talk WWE, state wrestling in a few weeks that I'll have to go cover. They just put him in the sleeper hold, got him in the cradle, and and the Wildcats whimpered to the end of the 40 minutes.
Really a substantial win for a lot of ways, and we'll get into more of the box score here. I do want to thank our great sponsors that we couldn't do any of this without, starting with Karl Auto Group, Karl Chevrolet. They do our pre and post game shows. Post game show will come up after this, so we're not done. The CF After Dark guys will be standing by. I'm sure they're going to be all fired up. Natuzel Financial Services, our friends with Raymond James, actually have family here, and we were just talking about financial planning, and because that's what you do when you get in your 40s. You sit and talk about stuff like that during a 30-point ass kicking. And I just want to give a shout out to my friends, the Natuzel family. They do an awesome job, and I couldn't be more proud to have them associated with us here on Cyclone Fanatic. And of course, our dear friends at Keen Project Solutions. Think different, thinkkeen.com. That is spelled K-E-E-N, and they're always looking to hire great Iowa Staters, looking for project managers. They have locations in Ankeny and Kansas City. Think different, thinkkeen.com. Check them out if you're interested in that.
Hey, they've got a great Iowa Stater and my brother-in-law, Jeff.
Yes.
Just got to shout that out.
Absolutely. I always like to say hi to him when I stop by Keene. Listen, the box score is what it is. When you win a game by 95-61, you're going to dominate in almost every aspect of it. So we don't need to get too into detail. A couple of things really stand out. The points off of turnovers today, 21-6. Woof. If you're Kansas State, and Iowa State turned it over 12 times, so it wasn't like this perfect offensive game for the Cyclones. But I mean, Rob, we got to start on the Momcilovic 3-point thing, right? Like, it just keeps going here. 5 of 9 today for Milan. And, I thought, the guy who, and we'll get to our Pest of the game, almost a triple-double today for Taman Lipsy. I thought Jefferson is just playing like a super composed game of basketball right now, 19, 8, and 5 for him. He did have 4 turnovers on that end. I don't know, and I'm ready for the level of competition to tick up here for Iowa State. I think everybody is, but there's just this level of, and I know I've said this before, and I think everybody can relate. When we were watching this team early in the Big 12, before they hit those 2 losses, it just wasn't that impressive. Yep. They were winning, and you're like, well, they should win, but it wasn't that impressive. They didn't seem crisp. They were playing intense basketball. They were playing hard, but there wasn't a lot of purity to what they were doing, specifically on the offensive end. This is just a totally different thing. And when you're one of the top 5 teams in the country, like, you're expected to get road wins. You're not expected to get road wins by 40. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Listen, that would be my analysis. The offense is fueled so much on transition, but there's just a level of the guys are making extra passes, and I think we've seen that UCF on. Like, it's a very unselfish level of basketball Iowa State is playing right now.
Yeah, and being willing to live late in the shot clock and trust that there's going to be a quality shot at the end of it. Is there always? No. But sometimes even when there isn't, someone like Milan is hitting a 3. A couple things for me. I mean, you touched on how they didn't seem that impressive. I think this team is together as it's ever been. I think it's together as a TJ Otzelberger team has ever been. I mean, they came into the season with 9 conference victories by 30-plus points. They have 3 in the last 4 games. They've led by 18, 30, 23, and 29 at halftime in the last 4 games. So much for slow starts. 2 of those games on the road. 1 against a rival who beats you twice as a top 10 team in the past 2 seasons. Another thing, the numbers. I mean, look at rebounds. 5 Cyclones between 5 and 8. Shots. Of the 5 double-digit scorers, between 6 and 13 field goal attempts. Assists. 3 Cyclones with 5 or more assists. 28 assists on 33 made baskets. You want to say how together a team is? Oh, and by the way, Eric Mulder comes off the bench and gets 4 boards in 2 minutes, and it's the first 3 of his career in 10 attempts. Great. And he's now 1 for 1 as a Cyclone. Better than Milan Momcilovic, who actually raised his 3-point percentage by going 5 of 9 today. So that's how good things are right now for Iowa State.
I also wanted to point out, so a lot of the holes that you could poke in this team earlier, but 2 weeks ago, it was the slow start thing. And it was like, what's going on? Why can't they start it? And even the games they were winning, like they just, again, wasn't crisp. It wasn't impressive. Their last 3, and I think you could take the UCF game and make this stat even more impressive. I just did the last 3. They've outscored their opponents 153-71 in the first half in the last 3 games. That comes out to an average of 51.5 to 23.6. And they are, let me pull up. I just want to make sure I get it correct. The 3-point shooting in the first half of these games has just truly been absurd. 25 for 46, so they're hitting at a 55% mark from 3-point range in the first half of the last 3 games. And I just pulled the first half because it's been so pronounced, but today's second half was just as impressive. They outscored them by 5, I guess, in the second half, but I to even outscore a team when you're up by 30 at halftime, in my opinion, is impressive because the human nature, and I know fans, and like we all want more. So one guarantee that fans are always going to want more. But it's hard to do that. It's hard to, and I think that's why we saw today, again, that on the ground report we had from the guys who were there, Otzelberger's using that. And we thought after that Oklahoma State game, it's like, hey, that's not a big deal, but they'll probably use that. And by God, they did, because that was a focal point Thursday against Colorado, too.
Yeah, and how much is this? I mean, you could say it's manipulating the net by bludgeoning all these teams. Well, it's just enhancing Iowa State's resume, obviously.
Good point.
K-State is a dead team walking, but Colorado, they turned around, and I think they were putting it on TCU at home after 6 straight losses. I mean, Colorado's a solid team. UCF's a good team. Oklahoma State, I think, is a borderline good team. So 3 of these 4 games that you win by 30 in 3 of these 4 games, 3 of those teams are, I don't know if Colorado's a tournament team, but that might be a postseason team. I mean, so it's not like you're doing it against the dregs of the league. I know K-State's now 1-8. They've competed in some games, though, and obviously got the 1 win. But it's just Tame and Lipsy today just blew me away. I mean, 6 of 9 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 turnover, so 9-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. He was so good. And I mean, you could say that across the board. Even Blake Buchanan only had 5 points, but he had 5 boards, and those were helpful.
Nate
Heisey was incredible.
What's going to make this team be? They're already really good. What's going to make them great is the guys outside of the big 3. Do you agree, Rob? And you're getting increasingly good minutes from Bateman, right? Just really, really solid. You know what you're going to get from him every time you put him in the game. And this is our friend Travis Hines tweeted this out. Heisey, Mr. February, I think is what he called him. Because, I mean, he did this last year. Like, fans were ready to bench him a year ago, and then he shows up and is one of Iowa State's best players by the end of the year with all the injuries and everything that they had to do. Throw him in the mix. And then, what are you getting from Torrey? And he's back being the guy that he was earlier in the season, and played as a guy who just, in my opinion, just looks stronger every time he gets out there. He's still not what I would call dynamic, but he doesn't hurt you, and he physically looks stronger and more athletic, and I think he's got his wind now, and I don't know how good of shape he was in. Big difference from what he did in Europe to the style of basketball he's being asked to play at Iowa State under TJ Otzelberger. And they told me that at the beginning of the year. We think he'll be a lot better in February than he is now because he's got to grow. Guy who got in late in the summer, so he didn't have a full summer because of the visa or whatever the heck was going on there. It's really good right now. We say that with the caveat of, and we all understand it, that the best part of the schedule is coming up. Rob, you mentioned the metrics. Let's hit on that really quick because they have been updated. Iowa State is still number 4 in KenPom, but they have moved to number 6 in defense and number 6 on offense. Truly elite to be in the top 10 in both. Truly elite, that's a team that can win a national championship as far as the metrics go. And last but certainly not least, you and me have been doing this a long time, and I appreciate it. Winning 20 games in college basketball is not what it once was. That used to be the big mark. It's not the same thing as it used to be. However, to do it on February 1st is a big deal. Iowa State is 20-2 on February 1st.
Yeah, that's no question. I mean, the best 18-2 was the best start in program history, and now they've just piled on top of that. And you mentioned Plata, the demand. He goes for a career high tying 12 points and career high 6 boards in the last game. Only 4 and 1 today, but his activity was great.
Yeah, looks
he
strong.
made a difference. And Heisey, 11, 5, and 5. I mean, his 11 points, most of them came in that stretch in the first half when Iowa State imposed its will and got the big lead. He was maybe the key catalyst, maybe along with Taman in that. I mean, again, you can go down the line with these guys. I mean, right now, this team is just firing in all cylinders. So, I mean, 14 of 27 from 3 today. They even shot 75% from the line on 20 attempts. I mean, it's tough to nitpick a whole lot. I mean, they had 12 turnovers. They only had 2 fewer turnovers than Kansas State, but you mentioned 21-6 in points off. So, I mean, Taman Lipsey, 4 steals to forget the assist to turnover ratio, 4 steals to 1 turnover. Torrey, 2 steals to 0 turnovers. By the way, he has 13 and 5 and 3 assists. I mean, it's just plus and minus. Josh Jefferson plus 37. I mean, Milan plus 35, Taman plus 32. I mean, just the numbers are staggering. They're absurd, to quote TJ and what he said about Milan's 3-point percentage. But yeah, I mean, you hope that they keep building. And that's why TJ called that timeout and balled him out a bit and took the lead on that. I mean, they have to keep going and they have to find ways to keep that chip on their shoulder in games and in practice. And they're doing that at an incredible rate right now.
Let's look ahead. You know, I did, Rob, like the fact that they had a little bit of a break here. I don't know if I do now. It's like I kind of just want to play another game. But they get Baylor a week from yesterday. And we're really into the thick of the schedule now because you look at the last, how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games left. And I believe 6 of them will be quad 1 opportunities for the Cyclones. And that could change. You know, that does change from time to time. Quickly, what happened with Colorado beat TCU today? Jeez, just killed them.
They were up big, yeah.
Yeah, they won 87-61. So, you know, that TCU will probably be a quad 1 opportunity when Iowa State goes there. I'm just kind of doing the math and all these things, but man, like, and again, like that, to your point, like, I don't think Colorado's great. I don't think Oklahoma State's great. But hell, like, these teams have beaten good teams. And, you know, like I said, the Big 12 is confusing to me. I thought the Big 12, honestly, Rob, like 2 months ago, I thought teams like 8 through 16 were garbage. I thought it was going to be that kind of year. Those teams are better than I thought they would be. We saw it again yesterday when UCF beats Tech, right? Like, there's just more teeth at that area of the league. So, like, again, I expect Iowa State to beat TCU on the road. I expected them to beat Oklahoma State. I expected them to beat Kansas State. To go out and do it by the amount and the way that they're doing it is what's so impressive. And that's my lasting thought on this.
Absolutely. And I think, I mean, UCF is 6-3 in the league right now. They're 1 game behind the Cyclones.
Yeah.
They've beaten Kansas this year. That's a legit, not just tournament team, I think, right now, but that's a team that, and by the way, they lost by 30 at Hilton. And when Johnny Dawkins, former NBA great, and their longtime head coach is in there, you can tell he's just like, yeah, he's answering questions like, we didn't have a chance today, more or less, was what he's saying. And when he can do that against a team that is talented, they brought in a lot of new guys that have that kind of chemistry. And as you mentioned, are these the greatest teams in the Big 12? No. But to your point on better depth, I think, yeah, once you get outside that top 4, you've got some teams that can beat the heck out of each other. I mean, Cincinnati's not going great now again. That was a tough one, obviously, on the road. But they've still competed hard, and they're going to continue to compete hard. So you look at that 5 through probably 14, and they're just duking it out every single game and occasionally biting one of those top 4 or 5. So, I mean, it is a deeper league than I thought, but it's incredibly top-heavy in a good way. And, like you said, I would say it's going to the teeth of that fellow top-heavy part of the conference.
It's going to be a fun end of the season. I can't wait. Let's do our preferred pest control pest of the game here before we send it over to Cyclone Fanatic After Dark. Preferred pest control. Rob, do you have any pests? Do you have a pest problem at your house? I got to send my guys over. Get Andy over there. Mow these things down.
Don't have any big issues. Fortunately, well, you know what comes in since we're by the woods? This invasive insect called the brown marmorated stink bug.
Oh,
we have
really?
to throw those things outside every now and then. So maybe get some people to seal a few probably hairline cracks. We built this house 10, 11 years ago, so
I had
a good idea.
Carpenter bees, and that used to not be a thing, but because the weather's just warmer now, like they're gravitating up to the south, and or from the south, and yeah, Preferred, they took care of them for me a couple years ago. Did a great job. I hired those guys, and I knew they were carpenter bees because they were they piss like through the cracks, and it like drips all. It's brutal. And there's spots all over my patio. It was horrible. Those guys
they're smoother.
Did a great job.
Yeah, they're smoother than bumblebees. That's another way you can tell.
Yeah,
they look like a bumblebee, but
they go through the wood. And, brutal.
Yep.
Pest of the game here. To me, it's Taman Lipsy. And if you're a Kansas State fan, like you've seen this guy, and he's the guy now. It's like, oh my God, he's like Percy Gibson to them, right? Like that guy's still here. I mean, Lipsy, 4 steals, and he was very Pest-like today. But he had the 9 assists, 5 rebounds, really good, 16 points. Got his offense back. Only 1 turnover, but turning the ball over a little bit too much. Again, we could always put Torre. The last basketball thing. I need to spend more time on this and probably do a little insight on this for our premium subscribers. But I know for a fact how much this program values deflections. So you're not necessarily always getting the steal, but deflections. And man, I would love to know the deflection stat from these guys over the last 4 games because it's been taken up a notch. And Taman doesn't always get the stats, but he deflects so much. I'll give him today's Pest of the game because he a very Pest-like performance from Taman Lipsy.
You've got to give it to him. He had 3 steals, I think, in the first by the under 16 time out of the game. 3 of his 4 steals. He had another couple of near steals too. Speaking of the deflections, just barely missing a couple. Yeah, he's elite there. But I think keeping in line with the theme of this post-game show, you could say it was a team full of pests. Heisey's scoring and his constant defense in that first half stretch. Jefferson hitting a basket whenever it feels like you really need one. Torre got another steal and slam late in the game, just to rub salt in Jerome Tang's wounds. I mean, it was you could almost give it to the whole team, but I mean, it's hard to argue with what Taman did. I mean, from the beginning. Yeah. K-State's like, oh, we're up 4-2. Maybe we can get them going, but speed them up. No, Taman gets a bunch of steals. Iowa State goes on whatever it was, a 12-0 run early, and it's good night.
Good day. Rob, thank you. Get to work on your postgame report. Can't wait to read it. You're the man. Appreciate Rob Gray as always. Aiden Wyatt does a great job of producing for us. Aiden, real quick, wrestling. Do we have an update? I haven't been able to see for a while.
It's brutal.
Not good. It's brutal.
It's
it was bad
24-0 at 184 right now.
Oh Christ! Okay.
So things are going about as poorly as they could have.
So you're. Oh yeah, that's as bad as I.
Yeah, it was a good thing we had basketball today. I'll say that much.
All right. Thanks for. Well, I'm sorry I brought Aiden into the show. Get the heck out of here, buddy. All right. Well, has anybody done a welfare check on Jacqueline? My gosh. Hey, the Cyclone men's basketball team, though, the varsity program won it today, 95-61. A bunch of pests, those guys from the Cyclone Fanatic After Dark. I'm going to throw it to them, see what those boys have to say. Let's go. Be after that. They're coming up right now here on Cyclone Fanatic.